So let's take a look at Amy Jacobs' clean and jerk here. We looked at her snatch in an earlier analysis like a week or so ago. Let's take a look at this. This is right before she pulls off the floor. So let's look at the bar is directly over her shoulders. This works good for her. Some people are going to be slightly forward of the bar. Some people are going to be directly over. If we look at her, this is a pretty good position. We've worked on this. This is not something we're going to look to change. So that looks pretty good. The one thing I always notice with her, and this is something she knows and we're working on, is having her back tighter. So if her back here, her upper back was a little bit tighter right there, we would always have a little bit better lifts. And that's something she's been working, and that's something if you work with masters who start a little bit later, getting that back tension up there is going to be something to work on. I always work some accessory exercises like rowing and various different things to be tight, RDLs, but that's something that you're going to have as part of technique for a while. So now we're going to look at the pull. So let's watch it in full motion first. All right, so I go back. Let's look through the pull a little bit, see what we see. So we already mentioned the back here. The bar comes back off the floor. That's good. We're happy with that. Comes back to here. I mean, if the back were a little bit tighter throughout the whole lift, the positioning would be better. So we're kind of end up where we are because of some of that positioning. Now here, I would really like to see her, and this is something we've been working on, is focusing on a smooth movement up and keeping it close. Like we see a lot of this. It comes to here instead of kind of a vertical trajectory trying to go straight up. We see a very pronounced swing out. So we want to really work on tight to tight, keeping it much, much closer there, and kind of instead of this kind of force it back to the hip, let's smooth and brush gently and keep it close. We have her doing some of the no brush, no hook, no feet clean to kind of reinforce that better pattern. So I see that in the clean. Let's see her feet. I mean, overall, her feet go straight out. She's able to bring the bar back. I mean, I would say maybe, where she go? Maybe she travel an inch forward, and that's due to this. So if the back were a little bit tighter, that would correct some of that. But a lot of that is she can smooth this out here and kind of right there. So we look at that. That's one thing with the clean. Let's clear out these arrows and take a look at the jerk. Overall, I like this jerk. We made some changes. I worked with her a little bit one-on-one, and we worked on sitting back a little bit more on the jerk. On the jerk, the knees come forward a little bit, but the hips have to sit back at the same time. So let's take a look at her dip. She waits a while before she goes and gets settled, and she's thinking about it. This is pretty good. This is and like her torso is very straight. This is pretty good. She made a good change here. She traveled a little bit extra forward right at the end there, but she has a good drive, and this is probably one of her better jerks. Let's take a look at that front foot and see how far she gets. Yeah, she gets the front foot more than a step forward. That's really good. The one thing I would tell her to focus on is right here. I would have her focusing on chest through, and her head through a little bit quicker. But overall, we're really content with that jerk. Let's kind of see her landing. This is a very good landing. Like we look at her foot, this is relatively perpendicular. We look at the back leg, the back knee. The back knee is bent. That's really good. She's not ideally we don't want to strive for like a low lunge position. We want to strive for a medium depth split just like this. So we're very happy with that. So then let's see, she recovers. She recovers front foot first. Very good. One thing I tell people is, okay, a lot of people rush the recovery. I say you don't have to take 2 steps. You can take 3 to 4 steps if you need. You can take 1, then you can take a smaller step, and then you can take a couple other small steps. You don't have to come all the way to there. So that's something that I tell people. You don't have to rush that recovery. It doesn't have to be done in 2 steps. It could be done in 4 if you take 4 small steps.